Greetings, David McKnight here, joining you today, Thursday, the day after the 4th, from my backyard, as you can see. Hoping some of you get the opportunity to take a little bit of time out of the office with the family and enjoy some time relaxing a little bit too. Today I'm really going to focus on what I think are the 10 things you need to be able to make sure is on your bucket list of dealing with in your effort to get hired. I'm going to share my screen here. All right, 10 reasons executives and senior professionals are not getting results from their job search. All right, these are the areas you need to focus on. And to go through a bucket list, you really need to make sure that you're checking off each of these things. They are the reasons why many of us are struggling to get hired today. And what I'm really excited today too is at the end of this fairly short presentation, I'm going to make an offer that I'm hoping that many of you are going to be able to take advantage of. An offer to help you tackle some of these challenges that we talked about here today, get you on that path of getting you hired. All right, number one, you don't have a job search plan. We spend most of our careers helping our employers build plans, and yet we sometimes forget about ourselves in doing it. I think it's really important that you sit down and are able to reflect and come up with a plan of attack for you to go about this big challenge of finding a great job. So I think it's time to take some time, think through those things. If you're really not even have any clue where to start, this presentation is going to be a really good place for you to start. The next 9 things here should absolutely be on that plan for you to be identifying the specific tasks and how you're going to go about this challenge. Number 2, you lack the clarity and focus on the role you want or need. So what's really important here is that, especially when we reach a senior level of status and we've been out in the workforce for many years, and we've gained a lot of different skills and a lot of different qualifications, it gets harder and harder sometimes to find that clarity of really what your value proposition is, really what it is that you nail and hit out of the park. And so I think it's really important that you spend some time through this plan and going through a process and creating that focus. And there's a lot of tools out there that help you do this. Assessments, while we hate them, many times we hate the assessments and how employers are using, but when they're used effectively, can be really helpful in getting you that clarity you need to help you identify and understand yourself better and where you bring value. Also, I think doing a detailed career inventory is really important, really listing out everything you've accomplished so you can be able to stand back and reflect on really what is important, what you're going to create focus on. And then when you're doing this, make sure you're actually going out there and using this cheat sheet that employers are providing called a job description. Those job descriptions are really valuable because it's what the employer is telling you exactly what they want. So make sure you're taking the job descriptions, highlighting all the key things into it, and comparing it to yourself and the tools that you create to help you make sure that you're delivering the message that's going to get you in front of them. Number 3, you have a winning presence and mindset. So a lot of times we sort of glance over this. We sort of focus on the tactical things, where many times this is the thing that's sort of a roadblock. And I think it's pretty natural. I mean, you've been in a search, especially if you've been in one for several weeks or even months. This gets grinding, it gets challenging. It's hard not to be weighing on you. And so I think it's really important that you take a time out. You leverage some processes that resonate with you, whether it's mindfulness practices, yoga, meditation, whatever it is that you need that you can connect with. Your wellness, make sure you're eating good. Those things are really important. And it's one of those things that I think are really important, that you identify what you need to be doing now to get you that little bit of extra boost in order to get you over the hump here and help you get through this challenge. So many times this can be your roadblock, so do not ignore that as well. Number 4, job boards and the ATS, the application tracking software, are broken. We've heard this, we've talked this a lot of times. You cannot ignore it. You need to have a strategy of how to deal with that. It's a combination of ways that to make sure that your resume is getting through the system and actually into a hiring manager's lap. There's other challenges and opportunities to get around the job board in order to get pulled out of the pile. It's really important that you understand the challenges here and you've got a strategy to deal with them. Number 5, you're not an expert or a specialist. You know, again, it gets back to that clarity and focus to some degree. You've done a lot of things in your career. You're great at 10 things. But the reality is, in order to get these careers, these good jobs, you need to be able to convince the employer that you are an absolute expert or a specialist at this thing. Again, they give you the secret sauce and the recipe in the form of a job description. You need to make sure that everything you're saying is geared towards that specific role, and that you're convincing that hiring manager that you're the person for the role. So be very careful about coming across as a generalist. That's not going to work today. You need to come across as a specialist, especially to compete in this marketplace where you're going to compete against a lot of different people at different levels and skill sets, and they got to be convinced that you're the one that can get the job done. Number 6, your resume is not effective. So this is something I see a lot of. And there's a lot of help for resumes, and you can spend $100. You can spend, I've seen it, over $3,000 just on a resume. I think that's important that with resumes too, is you make sure that where you're getting the help, if you're going to get help, is that person or that company really has clarity that the ultimate customer isn't you, right? You're not trying to get a job from yourself. The customer is the hiring manager, is HR, is recruiters. And so you got to make sure wherever you're getting help from is really focused on the same ultimate customer that your resume is targeted for, and that's who you're getting the job from. And the other thing is realize, the resume isn't a piece of art. It doesn't need to be 4 pages and lots of fonts and graphics and images. It really needs to be something that's very clear, concise. It can be easily scanned and read by a recruiter or HR person so that they begin to want to learn more about you. Again, you got 6 seconds of time. You got to use it wisely. The resume has to be able to get that accomplished quickly and easily for the audience that you're writing it for. Number 7, your career cover letter is like everybody else's. We, so many times seen the standard format for a cover letter is this, and many of us think, nobody's going to read it anyways. I'm just going to follow this format and get it out the door. Well, they are getting read, but here's the trick: they're only getting scanned. So if your cover letter looks like everybody else's, guess what's happening? It's going to end up in the big pile, the pile that you don't want to be in. So the goal here is to create a cover letter that's going to stand out. It's going to get their attention. They're going to do the quick scan, and they're like, it looks different. It sounds different. I want to learn more about this person. And so it's about coming up with a hook or an emotional connection or something that's really pain and solution focused. It really communicates a message that gets that hiring manager or the HR person or recruiter to say, this person sounds and seems different. I want to learn more. So don't go with the standard format. It needs to be something different. Number 8, your LinkedIn profile is not discoverable. And what I mean by not discoverable, it means that when they're searching for you, they're not finding you. You're not showing up at the top of the list. So many people just sort of discredit the LinkedIn profile and feel like it's a lot of work. Well, it doesn't have to be a lot of work. It's going to take a little bit of time to get it right. But it's not one of those things you have to be in there all the time fixing. And here's the really cool thing about LinkedIn profiles. Once you've got it done, then it works for you 24/7. So if it's done and done right, and what I mean by that is that it's chock full of the keywords and the things that the recruiters and employers are looking for that align with the roles that you want. It's doing the work for you. It's going to show up in their list, and you're going to get the calls. So do not ignore your profile. It needs to be very consistent with your messaging, consistent with your resume. It needs to speak to your value proposition, give a little bit more of your character than necessarily a resume would, and again, is easily found as discoverable by employers. Number 9, you have no network at the company you want to work with. So this is one of the really I see key differences about a network, because we hear this all the time. You need to run out and build a network. You need to go to every social event possible. The reality is that's not really what you need to do. Networking is really more about a one-to-one relationship. I don't care if you're an extrovert or an introvert, you can do this well. And so while you might have to take some events in order to help you reach out, it's really not about the events so much. It's about the interaction, the connections you're having with individuals, and specifically targeting the companies that you want to work for. And this is a really effective way of helping you deal with the job board issues. And maybe for some of you, the only way, because most jobs, as we've learned before, 70% of them never get on a job board anyways. So this is really key. It's key that you understand an effective way to be able to leverage your network at the companies you want to work with. Number 10, you are failing to communicate your value in interviews. So a lot of people get interviews wrong. We've talked about this in this group too, about the reverse interview. I don't think the interviews really is just about the candidate. It's an opportunity for you and the company to bond and learn about each other. And I think it's an opportunity really for you to sort of separate yourself from the competition. So think of the interview as really a two-way street. They're going to ask you a bunch of questions. You should be doing the same. You should be asking a bunch of great questions to the employer as well. You want to learn about the person that you're talking to, why they're there, what got them excited about joining the company. Bond and build a relationship with that person as well. The goal here, with that is to separate yourself again. I mean, everybody's doing the interviews the same way. Here's an opportunity for you to separate yourself from the rest of the interviews. So make sure you're communicating your value in the interviews. All right, now it's time to take action. I give you 10 things that you should be focusing on. These are the 10 reasons, I guarantee it, that you're not getting hired today. And so you need to dive into these things. And so for some of you, it's all 10 things. You're going to need to deal with all 10 things to some level. And that's one of the things. As many of you know, I do offer a career mentoring solution on top of my recruiting. My approach is a little different, I believe. I think I'm less of a coach and more of a mentor. And with that, I mean that I've actually out there, I've been hiring. I'm still hiring today. I'm bringing to you the insights of what hiring managers and recruiters want, because I am one. And the team that I brought together that help me with this are also practitioners. They're the ones that are actually out there helping deal with these challenges as well too. The program I offer is pretty comprehensive. And I would say it's a really good fit for anybody that's been out of work for quite a while. The cost of being out of work adds up pretty quickly. And so I think it's a really important that to be able to be open-minded to a transformative approach to getting this done. That said, one of my goals of starting this group is really to be more of a resource to more of you. And so starting this month, and really for right now, I'm only planning it for the month of July, is to offer a 3-block mentoring package for July for $1,000. So it's pick any one or any 3 of the things that we just talked about, whether that's a resume, whether that's getting the focus, whether it's cover letters, whether you want to be more effective at networking, more effective at interviewing. You pick the 3 things that really resonate with you, and for a much more cost-effective approach, we'll spend some time in getting those things accomplished. For that $1,000, what you're going to do is you're going to get the same content that I use in my full package, 3 to 4 hours of online content, online videos that you can watch at your convenience. You'll have access to that indefinitely. You're going to get access to my career mentoring tools. I mean, this is a great way to quickly get you through the process and having the information and the resources you need in order to get hired. I also invite you to join my exclusive Facebook group, where you can join 4 group mentoring calls. And on those, you can ask any questions. It's a group call. You'll join a group of other people, as well as myself or one of my other coaches, and help you to deal with the challenges that you're dealing with. And then here's where it really separates yourself. Instead of just throwing a bunch of resources at you and here's the self-help kind of approach, I sort of believe, and this is why I believe my approach is differently. It's really about applying those tools, applying those resources in that learning specifically to your needs. And to do that, we're going to provide you 6 to 8 hours of one-on-one support to help you get that accomplished. So it's not just, oh, here's a video on resumes, good luck. No, we're going to give you the video, we're going to give you the tools, and then we're going to help walk you through those tools. And so you walk out of it with a comprehensive solution that resonates with the challenges that you're facing. So I'm hoping that you can take advantage of this. You can do that by reaching out online. Schedule a free discovery call. It's free. It's a 1 hour opportunity to talk with myself. I'm going to do a bit of a mock interview, review your resume. I'm going to give you some actionable feedback from that. You're immediately going to apply some of what I talk about to help you with your search. And if we can talk through and identify 3 things that really you need to focus in, great. Then we'll make a plan and get started on that. To schedule that, you can go to notionpath.com/gethired, where you can see my calendar or schedule to select an hour that works for you. And again, we'll spend an hour, we'll get really crystal clear on what we get accomplished and come up with a plan that fits your needs. My hope is that you're going to take advantage of this special. I'm only going to make advantage or make available for the month of July, and I can't do a ton of these, so I'm only going to make it available to this group. Our communities, both on Facebook and LinkedIn. So my hope is that you'll take advantage of this, take advantage of the free hour to talk through your challenges and find a solution that works for you. This has been David McKnight on this Thursday, July 5th. I hope you found this helpful, and I really would encourage you to spend an hour and talk a little bit about your challenges, and let's find a way to get you hired. Thank you.